Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming to this session. Today's session is called Give Me Some Hammies because we are getting into our hamstrings today. Very simple session today, very relaxed and gentle, and we're going to be creating some body awareness so that we can learn about our bodies and become aware of it. Because I think it's very important to know your body, because then you can strategize on stretching, your workouts, and all that good stuff. So go grab your mat and let's get started. All right, so we're gonna get started in a staff pose. So have a nice comfortable seat. You're gonna bring your legs right out in front of you. Untuck the meat of the bum so that you feel that bone that's underneath your bum. And let's inhale, lengthen, roll the shoulders back and down, and place our hands onto the mat. So if this is difficult for you, then take note. And let's inhale and exhale, reach for your shins, which is the bones that's right below your knees. So you can hold on to your knees, whatever feels good. The one thing that I don't want you to do or to stay away from is curling your spine. So pay attention to curling your spine. So try this out, pull your shoulders forward and see if you can feel a stretch on your hamstring. And then roll your shoulders up and back and down. And then reach for your shins. Does that change that stretch right there? When your shoulders are rolled forward, it comes more into your back versus your hamstrings. And then you're also compromising your spine as well too. So we want to have, in yoga, a nice straight back, flat back, whatever you want to call that. And then reach for our shins. And that also helps you shift or fold at your hips versus your back as well too. So we're reaching for our shins, and take notice of where you feel any tension. For me, I feel it right in the middle of my hamstrings. So allow that delicious discomfort to start to subside. And take a deep breath in. And exhale. Go ahead and release. Let's tap our hamstrings on the mat. Tap, 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 tap. In massage, we call this tapotement, where we just kind of tap the muscles to kind of wake them up. All right, go ahead and shift your bum again. Inhale, lengthen, shoulders back and down. And exhale, reach for your ankles, which is going to be obviously right above your feet and just below like the mid part of your lower legs here. Now, when we're in our ankles, we definitely tend to want to curl our back. So again, try and shift your shoulders back and down and see if that intensifies that hamstring stretch, because you might feel a stretch coming down to your ankles regardless. But when we have a nice flat back, it puts all of that focus of the stretch right into those hamstrings. We got to give me some hammies here. All right, deep breath in and exhale, release. And the great thing about hamstrings too is that we're also helping to alleviate low back pain also, which is awesome. So it's like a double whammy. Inhale, lengthen, shoulders back and down. And exhale, try to reach for your toes. Now, if you're not able to reach your toes, then you can grab a strap it around your feet, and then try to reach as close as you can to your toes so that you get really deep into these hamstrings. Now, when you come to your toes, it's going to lengthen that stretch. It's going to bring the stretch from your hamstrings all the way into your calves, which is the muscles right behind your lower extremities, and which is called the gastrocnemius. So just give yourself a nice gentle tug on your toes and taking notes on how tight they might feel. Deep breath in and exhale. Go ahead and release. Let's go ahead and tap that out, because when we get to the toes, it starts to get a little more intense, right? Tap, 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 tap. So we're going to pump into each section again, but this time we're gonna come in and out, in and out. So I look at this as a massage therapist as a way to encourage circulation. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come to your shins. Release. Inhale. And exhale, ankles. Inhale, release. Exhale to your toes. Nice. Go ahead and release. Tap that out. And I always like to do things twice because sometimes that first time is really harder than that second time. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale to your shins. Go ahead and release. Shoulders back and down. Inhale. Exhale to your ankles. Nice. Go ahead and release. Inhale. Exhale to your toes. Now pause here at your toes. See how far you've gotten. If you got to your shins and you're like, okay, this is as far as I can go, and then that second time you're able to get a little bit further, take note and then also celebrate any kind of win that you have in any kind of stretching. Go ahead and release. Go ahead and tap your legs out. So let's bring our left foot to the inside of our right leg. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale. We're gonna reach for the toes of that right hand. Now square your shoulders off to the top of the mat and take notice. How far are you able to get into this stretch right here? I call this figure 4 because you look like a figure 4. And you can gently pull yourself deeper into that stretch. And again, if you don't have this flexibility right here, this is a goal, and you can also use your strap to help you come a little bit deeper into the hamstrings. So go ahead and release. Let's tap out the legs and bring our right foot into the left leg. Inhale, lengthen, square your shoulders to the top of the mat, and then reach for the toes. Now take notice, are you able to get further with this right here? Sometimes you're able to get further when you have one leg tucked in, and that's just because you don't have both legs fighting you. So take note, win, 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 whenever you're able to come deeper. And deep breath in, and exhale, release. Nice. Let's switch our legs again because we're going to do that again. So figure 4 again, left leg into the right leg. Inhale, lengthen, square your shoulders to the top of the mat. And exhale, come deeper into that fold. So for me, I'm able to get to the midfoot of my foot here. Yes, you can get there. It is possible. I was not here in the beginning of me doing this stretching. I was probably right here when I first started. And man, I would get so frustrated because all these yogi girls were getting really far and I was like, I hate them. But in reality, I was, I was honoring them and loving that they're able to get it further than me. Go ahead and release. Let's switch sides. And right leg into the inner thigh of your left leg. Inhale, lengthen, square your shoulders. And exhale, come on back to your toes. So my point of that little story is honor your level of where you're at. Don't judge yourself. And then don't compare yourself. All right, so we're taking notice. We're taking notes of how this feels. And on every exhale, you can even try to reach your fingers a little bit deeper into that stretch. Shoulders back and down though every time you're coming into a stretch deeper. And also do not force yourself into any stretch. So if you also do CrossFit, this is a really, really good session to recover after deadlifts. Like if you had a really hard deadlift day. Go ahead and release. And let's shake that out. Let's bring our feet pads to the mat and let's actually windshield wiper our legs. Side to side. And let's bring our left leg in, but instead of having our leg right out in front, we're gonna bring it out wide so that you make this check mark with your legs. So inhale, lengthen, your shoulders are gonna be squared off to the top of your mat. And then you're gonna reach for the inside of your foot. You can stack your shoulders, make sure that you're not curling your shoulders forward and that they are back and down. So now The purpose of this stretch is so that you can feel the back of your inside hamstring, if that makes sense. So there's two heads to your hamstring. There's a medial head and a lateral head. So our focus is the medial, or closest to the midline. Midline is midline. So you're taking note, and the midline, the medial head of the hamstring is close to your adductors, which is the inside of your leg, and really, really good for recovery after doing squats, deadlifts, pretty much any kind of CrossFit moves. Go ahead and release. Shake it out. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, come to the outside of your foot this time. So taking notice on where that stretch shifts. Now you should be feeling this more on the outside of your leg, or the lateral side. So lateral, medial. You didn't know it was going to be an anatomy lesson, did you? So making sure that your shoulders are back and down. As a massage therapist, I love anatomy. As a yogi therapist, I love anatomy as well too. I think it's important to know your anatomy, especially if you're working out or if you're doing CrossFit or any kind of athletics, then it helps you to be able to recover faster. Go ahead and release. Let's switch sides. Right leg to the inside of your left leg. Make that check mark so it's coming out wide. Inhale, lengthen, square your shoulders off, and then reach for the inside. With this, your opposite hand, I tend to just put it right here on top of my leg, or kind of helping me stay up, but still making sure that my shoulders aren't rolling forward. So check your shoulders, where are they? And then roll them back and down. So we are focusing on what side? Yes, exactly, medial. The inner portion of your hamstring, or the closest to your midline. And go ahead and release. Let's shake that out. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, reach for the outside of your foot. And if you're not here at this point where you're able to get to your foot, that's okay. You can work towards this here. What do I say all the time? Honor your level. Acceptance is key. So we're stacking our shoulders, making sure they're not rolling forward. Deep breath in. And exhale, release. Awesome. So let's switch sides again. Let's tap it out real quick. Tap, tap, tap. And let's make that check mark again. Left to the inside of your right. And this time we're just gonna go from either side, movement to breath. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, come to the inside. Taking notice of where that stretch is feeling the most. Yeah, go ahead and release. Inhale. And exhale to the outside of your foot. Shoulders back and down. And release. Switch feet. Right to the inside of your left. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to the inside of your foot. Stack your shoulders. Open up the chest. Go ahead and release. And exhale to the outside of your foot. Grab that outside. Nice. And this, you might actually feel it in your low back as well too. Releasing our low back. Go ahead and release. Awesome. So let's tap out the legs. Tap, tap, tap. Let's windshield wiper. Bring your feet pads to the mat. Go side to side. And I'll meet you in a comfortable seat. Inhale, lengthen. Bring your both feet right out in front of you. Folding your legs. Exhale, reach for the top of the mat. Really quick so that we can make nice with the outside of our hips. Inhale, lengthen. Switch your feet so one foot is in front of the other. Inhale. And exhale, come forward. Nice. And then come back to center. And scene. All right, so I hope you gave yourself some hammies. So sometimes people get sore after working on their hamstrings because hamstrings are quite busy muscles. So if you get sore, it's very normal. Sometimes the soreness can last anywhere from 72 hours, depending on how deep you went, to 5 days or so. So be patient, drink lots of water, and rest. All right, I will see you in the next sesh. The light, the teacher, the student in me honors the light, the teacher, the student in you. Namaste.